Hello, people. Happy New Year. I just wanted to get a video out. It's been a very long time. I think it was September was the last time I was able to do a video. It is Friday, January 10th, 3:15 p.m. Excited to be back. There's so much to talk about. I miss everybody out there, and I really miss doing these videos. So let's just hop right in and let's get to it. I have so much today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to all of it. And I actually have a lot of props today, which is unusual. First thing I want to talk about, people, is this new year, 2020. And my daughter, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, she was texting me and she was telling me that a lot of young people her age were considering this to be the Roaring Twenties again, okay? Now, most of these people, okay, these millennials, they've never lived through a depression. They've never lived through any correction in the stock market. Any of them that might be old enough to own stocks, if any, they've only seen stocks go up and up and up and up. So I guess they could be forgiven if they think this is the Roaring Twenties all over again, okay? And you know, I went back and I looked at the Roaring Twenties. And the Roaring Twenties were surrounded by, basically sandwiched by two wars. I mean, you had World War One, and then you had ultimately World War Two, all right? And it was an age of just consumerism. New gadgets, right? Refrigerators and vacuum cleaners and radios, you know, and washing machines. And the Model T, of course, right? I guess today that would be Tesla, right? And it was just mass thinking, right? It was group thinking. And, you know, you had the Charleston and you had the Flapper. Are all these things coming back? And I looked at it, and you know what's old is new? What's old is new. It all comes around. There's nothing new under the sun, people. There really isn't, okay? People got into stocks. They didn't know what they were doing, okay? There was greed. There was the fear of missing out. There was cheap money, okay? It was all the consumer, all right? Farming had stagnated. Coal mining has stagnated, and we'll get to that, right? Later, hopefully, right? And it all came crashing down. It was like this grand illusion. And it was great while the punch bowl was going, right? And all the cheap money was flowing, okay? But it never ends well, people. So I want to know, is this the Roaring Twenties all over again? Now, we almost started it off with a war, right? But the gang that couldn't shoot straight, okay, the only thing they were capable of doing was shooting down an airplane, all right? Had they actually hit some of their targets, there might be a World War III right now going on. I don't know, okay? So we'll see, all right? But how many more years can this stock market go up before the crash, before this bubble finally pops? I don't know, okay? We'll see. So, I mean, there's so much to talk about, but before I even get to anything, let's just get into the gold, and let's get into the technicals right now. Now, the last time I had done a video, I had said that gold could correct all the way back down to, at the time, the 100-day moving average. It was about 1425 at the time, 1430, and gold was overbought. And a consolidation, okay, a breather, was certainly warranted, okay, even necessary and healthy. And that's basically what we got. But gold didn't even get all the way down to 1425 or 1430. It was very, very resilient. It held up there. It pulled back a little, and it was a normal consolidation. It was a breather to work off that overbought condition. And then we broke out of this bull flag that had been forming. And I just want to show you the technical. We all know this, people. I think we all know this. But just to make it clear, This is the 10-year gold chart, okay? We have that long reverse head and shoulder pattern. Some people call it a cup and saucer. Then we have this first horizontal line. That was the 1340, my key breakout, which it broke above finally after all those attempts. Okay? It then came up to this strong resistance, these two horizontal lines. That's major resistance, the mid-1500s to 1600. That's the battle, people. That's the battle. Then we have those two lines that are slanted, okay, a downward slope there. That was the bull flag that formed that we broke out of. Now, that bull flag was created by hitting 1520, 1540, and the top was about 1556. And gold has taken out all three of those levels. It had a quick run up due to the political issues that are going on here now. It's come back now down, but they're buying the dip. And right now, gold is at 1558. Okay? So, the 100-day moving average now has gone all the way up to 1500. And now it's the 200-day moving average that is in that 1430. Both are bullishly aligned, so gold is looking very, very well, people. Now, it could bounce around here for a while, quite a few weeks, okay? But the trend is clearly up, all right? So you got to just don't get distracted. Don't listen to the noise, okay? And stay the course. And talking about noise, there's so much noise out there now. I am tuning it all out, people. You got guys making outlandish statements about what stocks are going to do, what precious Bitcoin is going to do, what gold and silver are going to do. It's all noise, people. And, when I went back to school for my master's, I bought these noise-canceling headphones, because I figured if I was going to study, maybe if I'm at a cafe or something, I want to put the headphones on. These things are fantastic. They just cancel out all the noise, and I could focus and study. I suggest getting a pair of these because there's just so much noise out there, people. So let's get into it now. Where do I begin even? During the holidays, Thanksgiving, around the table, I had my brothers, my nephews, my niece, and so on. We started talking about some things, and I presented a riddle, or I mentioned what's known as the King's Bet, okay? And some of you might know of it, the King's Bet. The king offers like a bet. Would you rather have like $10 million, or would you rather put a penny down on the square of a chessboard and double the penny on each square, okay? And this is the concept of exponential growth, okay? And it seems like, yeah, I'd rather have the 10 million, But when you actually do the math, which I did, and this is a chessboard, basically. A chessboard has 64 squares, okay? And that first square in white down here, right? That's a penny, right? And then we double it to 2 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents, 16, 32, 64 cents, right? And we keep doubling and we keep moving along. $1.28, right? $2, $4, blah, 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 blah. And then when we finally get over here, look how this starts to grow, these numbers. They start to get very big, okay? It goes to 1,000 and change, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000. All right, we're off to the races here. The 48 square is 21.9 trillion, okay? I think that's very significant. I have that in red. The 48th out of the 64 squares, we're up to 21.9 trillion. We're only 75% of the way done, okay? There are 16 more squares to get to. And that's basically our national debt, right, more or less. We got about 22, 23 trillion, something like that, right? These last 8 squares, you ultimately end up with 360 quadrillion, okay? This is exponential growth, people, all right? Do you think this can happen again with our debt? I do. I seriously do. I think it could happen very easily. We have to forget about the noise. We have to watch this repo market very carefully because it's not over. I don't think it's over by a long shot, okay? And things can get out of hand very quickly, okay? You start out with a penny, okay? We're up to 21.9 trillion on the 48 square. We got 16 more squares to go. This thing ain't over, people, all right? I think it's just getting started. And we could see this hyperinflation when it really starts, all right? So I wanted to mention something else, people. Brings up something else I was thinking of. Last month, around Christmas, we went into the city celebrating a birthday, not mine. And I took my wife, my daughter, her boyfriend. We went to see The Illusionists, okay? It's a magic show. There's about 6 or 7 illusionists, magicians, and they do all these tricks, right? Illusion. We are living in a world of illusion right now, people. We really are. People are illusioned. They're delusioned. They're delusional, okay? They think this stock market bubble could just go to the sky forever and ever and ever, and the Fed can save us all. It's delusional. And the Fed has created this grand illusion, okay? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. It's nothing but cheap money. It's counterfeit money, okay? That's all it is. And they're wondering why they can't get 2% inflation. And now they have these symmetrical inflation targets. Well, if it's been below 2% for so long, we'll tolerate it being above 2%. As long as it takes, right? To make this symmetrical inflation, this magic number of 2%. It's all an illusion. And it's all counterfeit. And they wonder why they can't get inflation. Inflation is all around us. In stocks, in bonds, in real estate. Okay? In everyday goods and services. But the only people that are benefiting are the top. Because they get the money first. And what do they do with it? They buy back stocks. They buy, right, with the money. You know, I was watching this Netflix TV drama, Turn, about George Washington's spies, okay? The spy ring, right? The Culper spy ring, right? And one of the episodes, I think it was season 3, okay, mid-season, episode 5, something like that. There was an episode where the British were going to counterfeit, right? They were going to counterfeit the continental dollars, right? They were going to flood it with more paper, you know. They were running out of money, right, to fund the revolution. And the British were going to counterfeit all this money. That was part of their plan, one of the, not just military, but economically, okay? And there was one guy they needed to help them out to do a favor. And they said to him basically, before we do it, we'll give you a stack of these counterfeit bills, okay? He's got the money first, right? He's got a stack of counterfeit bills, right? He gets it first before it's released to the general public. This is what it is, people. This is nothing but counterfeiting. What's old is new. Okay, it's all the same. There's nothing new under the sun here. Okay? And I was watching Wall Street again the other night, right? And you got Hal Holbrook, right? He's this old-time conservative trader, right? And he says right at the start of the movie, there's too much cheap money floating around. Nixon, he took us off the gold standard. What's old is new, people. And then then the father is talking to the son. Okay, Bud Fox, right? Hotshot trader, insider information, right? He says you made $35,000 last year, and this is 1985, 50,000, 35,000 2 years ago, 50,000 last year. What are you doing with all your money, right? Pay back your student loans, he says. What's old is new. It's all the same. It's just on a grander scale now, people. Okay? This is the illusion that's out there. And while I was looking at the Broadway shows to go see, I think it's very interesting and appropriate that off-Broadway show that I've mentioned over and over again, Little Shop of Horrors, that's back. That's back. Off-Broadway, Little Shop of Horrors, okay? Feed the beast. Feed that plant, right? This is what the Fed has to do now to keep this repo market, right, under control. They have to feed the beast, okay? I think I might go see that. I think it's very appropriate that Little Shop of Horrors is back on Broadway. Because this isn't a wonderful, this is the greatest economy in the history of America. No, I think we're about to enter into a real Little Shop of Horrors, if you ask me. All right? So, I mean, I got so much more to talk about, but I'm already 15 minutes into this. There's another movie I'm actually going to see this afternoon, 1917. I think that's very appropriate also. Because that's World War I. And, you know, that came before the Roaring Twenties. So we got to watch and see what's going on out there, people. I'm just going to close with this, actually. I took umbrage at Joe Biden's comments. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. He told coal miners to just go and learn code. Just learn code. Now, obviously, this is coming from a nitwit who probably never wrote a line of code in his life. See, it's always the people that have no clue that tell the other people what to do. And this is a person with absolutely no clue, Mr. Joe Biden. Just learn how to code, okay? I took personal offense at that as a programmer. And I think every coal miner also should take personal offense at what this nitwit had to say. And God help us all if he ends up being the president of this country, okay? Because it truly will be a Little Shop of Horrors. So I went down in my rec room, and I just started to pull out some books. Some. I would say this is maybe about 15% of all my textbooks I have on computers, okay? And they're pretty big books. C++, okay? Pretty big size book, okay? Learning C#, okay? Learning C#. Python. Look at the size of this book. Python. That's a popular language now, right? SQL Server Analysis Services. Programming in C. That's a breakthrough old book. Tremendous book for all you programmers out there, okay? Administering SQL Server databases, querying Microsoft SQL Server, ADO.NET, okay? Why am I doing this? To show what a complete imbecile this guy is, okay? SQL Server, implementing a data warehouse, so on and so forth, okay? Just learn how to code. Yeah, right, Mr. Joe Biden, okay? You don't have a clue. You don't have a clue about coding. You don't have a clue about the economy. You don't have a clue about foreign policy. For you to make a statement like that, okay, just shows how out of touch and arrogant you are. Just like these Fed banksters, okay? Just learn how to code. And I got news for you, Mr. Joe Biden. It's not like there's a lot of coders out there being able to get jobs, okay? The world is full with a lot of out-of-work coders, okay? In this gig economy where we all have to do, Uber. So what are you talking about? Coal miners, generation after generation, they know how to do their job. They know what it's like. They take their lives into their hands. They understand what they're doing. They get down in the center of the earth. That's what they're trained to do. That's what they know how to do. I'm a computer developer. That's what I'm trained to do. There's electricians. There's doctors, okay? There's chefs. You don't just say, okay, well, I can't be a chef today. I'm going to be a shortstop. It don't work that way, Mr. Biden. Okay? So you're clueless. I had to get that off my chest, people. Because this is what's out there. This is the noise that's out there. And we have to just tune it out. Because it's going to get a whole lot worse. So let's just watch what happens with this gold. Let's see if it just takes a breather, bounces around a little here before it makes its next move up. Okay? Beautiful day out there, people. Sun is shining. Nice weather. I don't know when I can do a next one, but I truly wish everyone a happy and healthy new year. Stay the course. It's going to be a battle. This is the big battle here. This mid-15s to 1600 level. Because after that, people, we're talking 1900 in the all-time highs. There's a lot of air after this level. A lot of air. So this is the fight right here. Ciao, people.